All right, James McFadden, I barely know you, but I've been a big fan for years. You know, love that you're racing on the High Limit Tour right now. But I heard you're a foodie.
Yeah.
And I lured you to one of my favorite spots, Round the Bend Steakhouse. And there's kind of a a little reason I lured you here.
A testicle festival.
Yeah.
Sounds nuts. Looking forward to it, I guess. I didn't think on a Monday afternoon I'd be having nuts in my mouth, but looking forward to it, I guess.
Well, let's go. All right, so now the time has come. Oh, TJ's here, wasting no time.
Here you go, boys.
Thank you.
Round the Bend Steakhouse, and these are some nuts.
These are some nuts.
You call them balls? What do you call them?
Balls, nuts, the boys.
The boys.
What do you call them on the menu?
Testicles.
Oh, testicles.
Yeah.
Okay, you just rip the Band-Aid off.
Rip it
just
off.
right away. You're just going for testicles.
Yep. Why don't you guys go ahead and get balls deep with me, all right?
Has that one got a hair on it?
No, we eat hair all of it. Enjoy.
Well, hey.
Crossing the start-finish line now from Alice Springs, Northern Territory, Australia. The Mobile One Toyota Racing Development, Roth Enterprises, HR Livestock Transportation number 83. It's James McFadden.
Oh, he's going for the big one.
Oh, big nuts.
Here
Cheers,
we go.
eh?
Cheers. That's pretty good, isn't it? It's not what you would expect a testicle to taste like.
I don't really know what you'd expect a testicle to taste like, but
hey, you're a sprint car racer, okay?
it's actually
Native
really good.
Australian. I'd say it takes some balls to race a sprint car.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's certain sports in the world that require a big set of bush onions, as we call them at home.
Wait, did you just say bush onions?
Yeah. You know, you got to throw them over the shoulder every now and then and let her eat. So I think sprint car racing, motocross, obviously riding a bull, things like that. I think the thing that I like about it so much is I think sprint cars are something that are an almost uncontrollable thing.
Yeah.
That you've got to drive on the verge of being uncontrollable. Yeah, I agree. Nuts are a big part of what we do, and
Some people think you are.
yeah.
Will prevail.
I enjoy it. I enjoy that side of it, the crazy part of it. I think that's what keeps you alive, you know.
I think also it's also what separates you.
Yeah.
You know, because there's thousands of race car drivers around the country, right? You know, I've raced short track racing, but I've never strapped in a race car that's basically just a tube chassis with a monster. I mean, these things are literally animals. They are the equivalent of what a bull would be, you know, to a cowboy.
Yeah, and I think that's why you see so many crossovers from motocross to sprint cars. You know, there's obviously Corey Day and Sheldon, and even if you go back a long time, like Jeff Leask, who was a 500 world champion, he races sprint cars in Australia for a long time. And I think it's something that's hard to explain. For me, it's normal now, going around in circles at 140 mile an hour, but you know, to have a drive shaft running between your legs, a 33-gallon methanol tank hanging off the back of you know, open wheel with another 24 race cars, it's something that it blows your skirt up. The ball side of things is a big part of it, but also being able to harness that.
Poise, it takes poise.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of an art form as well. Like, you've got to be on the verge of being nuts and out of control, but then being able to pull the reins in when you need to and control that. And I think that's the art form. That's the really cool part, and that's when you see guys excel in this sport.
When did you first lay eyes on it? Like, I know when I first laid eyes on an asphalt modified. Like, I love those things. I was a little kid at Islip Speedway. When's the first time little James McFadden like saw a sprint car?
Straight out of the belly, I was them. You know, my dad raced sprint cars.
Oh, nice.
Back in the day in Alice Springs, so in the middle of the desert in Australia.
So
there.
you were right into it as a kid, thrust into it.
Yeah.
So it was totally normal then.
Yeah. Sprint car racing and traveling as such was a normal thing for us. I think I first jumped in a sprint car at 15, I think, just to have a go. And I still remember I was decent in a go-kart and thought I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof. And I remember starting it up and just going from 0 throttle to 100 and tank slapping this thing down the straight and losing control, and my eyes flipped out of my head, and I'm thinking, oh shit, this is it's a little different to the go-kart that I just ran. But I just... Did
it scare you a little bit at first?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
And honestly,
which is probably healthy, right?
Yeah, and honestly, they still do it at this time. You know, there's places that we go and, you know, things that we do sometimes that scares you. But I think that's healthy. That's a part. I think you need to fear it. If you don't fear it, it's gonna hurt you. I think it shows a respect to the car and to the sport that we have. You know, I've been fortunate enough that I'm, touch wood, I've been pretty safe over my career. You know, broken bones and things like that, but they can hurt you. They can really hurt you, and they can, you know, we've seen great drivers lose their lives. So I think if you don't have that respect for them, it's you're asking for a bit of trouble, I think.
Let's go racing off at turn number 4. We are green. James McFadden out to the early race lead. Brad Sweet tries to run the bottom. They did move those tractor tires in right before this feature event rolled off. Sweet looks for a big slider to turns 3 and 4, comes up short, and James McFadden will lead lap number 1.
You know, when you're in traffic, there's another side of it. You know, making sure you're not feeding somebody a right rear, and making sure you're respectful. And these things don't have mirrors, they don't have radios. People don't realize that stuff that don't know sprint car racing.
Yeah.
You guys put on a show. You guys are hairy close at times.
Yeah, and we all mess up. As we saw myself and Brad when I got shot out to orbit there.
James McFadden back to the top spot, hits the bottom real nice right there in 1 and 2, and pulls away a little bit from Brad Sweet. What a corner right there from McFadden. Now Sweet, he gets into him. They get together. McFadden flips out of the ballpark at turn 4. The wing flies off, and he is out there in the cow pasture.
Brad
and I. That was pretty wild, right?
It was pretty wild. That was nuts. You know, shit happens, mate. At times we misjudge it. We're human. It's no different to taking a step and missing a step with your leg and falling over. You know, you misjudge it. At times we do silly things. We run into people, but 90% of the time, like for example, myself and Brad, we've probably raced 300 races together and crashed once. So, you know, there's guys that you're going to crash with a bit, and that you've got them on your little dashboard ready. You know, when you get to that number, you're going to wear them out a little more than you're going to wear a certain guy out. So yeah, I think the respect level's there, and you know, the more professional you get, the more that's there. You know, we all are driving down the road 70 times a year, and we want to get to the next one. So I think there's a lot of, you know, hard racing, and you know, I'll give you an option, but at the same time, you know, there's that respect level. If you've got a grudge against someone and you race them 70 times, you're going to end up lining next to them or crashing into them every night. So you just get over it, say your piece, throw a headbutt in there if we need to, and then just go on with it, get on with it, move on, go to the next race, figure it out. So, like I said, Brad and I are good mates, and I know that wasn't an intentional move. So things are good.
You can tell when you go look at it.
Exactly. Yeah.
We have the advantage of being able to do that.
I'm having another nut because.
What do you think of these things?
They're actually really delicious.
This thing looks like it's 3 in 1. That's a lucky.
Yeah, it's 3 nut.
They're actually not that bad, right?
No, they're actually really delicious.
People think of bull testicles, bull fries, you know, Rocky Mountain oysters. This is another. You said what? Onions or something?
Bush onions.
Onions as something pretty gross, but I think because these are pounded flat and fried.
You pounded my nuts.
You just don't get that, like, what you think, like, gelatinous, like, I
was waiting for an aftertaste, you know, like a bad aftertaste, but I'd recommend them. I'd recommend these nuts.
I would.
These nuts.
Super Sub Dominic Scelzi is here filling in for the Roth Motorsports car of James McFadden, who has been delayed with travel issues.
The beginning of this season was as intense as anything.
Yeah.
But it probably was, obviously it was intense in a different way because you had the visa issue, you couldn't get over here, you're watching somebody else drive your race car.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, Dom did a great job, but like that's how you feed your family. You don't want to be sitting on the shelf. You know, that had to have been a terrible feeling.
Yeah, not only that, well, obviously you want them to perform because, it's your team and that, but, there's only a certain amount of time they're going to wait for me, and I couldn't give a definitive answer when I was going to get there because I'm just sitting on my hands waiting for decisions to be made. So it's just a hard process to get all of that and to do it legitly and properly, and you can't speed the process up any more than we tried. So to be sitting there on my hands watching it, thank God for flow and things like that, but I kind of wanted to turn it off most of the time because I wanted to be there. So disappointing start to the season. I was really excited after our season last year with our team
like
rolling
6
in,
wins, right?
Rolling in thinking, this is going to be my big shot at going for a championship, and I was excited about the new high limit series and everything involved, and then just got kicked straight in the nuts and kind of had to sit at home. I'm trying to get the puns in there.
Yeah, the puns work. You're pretty punny.
And then just having to sit there and watch my stuff go around was devastating. But we're here now, moved on. Hopefully we can pick up a few more wins.
I'd imagine it's such a challenge to go back and forth too, because you still have a home in Australia, right? And now you've got a 3-year-old in Maverick.
Yeah.
How does that even work? Like, I know he's young enough right now where he's not in school, but that's a challenge that I wouldn't understand.
Yeah. So we basically sold everything 3 years ago. It worked out okay. I sort of.
So you're here in the States, like.
Well. We just bought a house on the airplane on the way over here, so that's cool.
Hey, cheers.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Come on, let's go.
My wife and I had our own businesses in Australia and kind of had to shut everything down with COVID, and then the opportunity came with Casey to race, and I'm like, man, it's kind of perfect opportunity. Maverick was, 8 or 12 weeks old at the time, and sold up everything, bought a motorhome, and thought, let's have a crack at this for a few years and see what we can do. And he's at the age now where he's kind of, starting to think about school and going to kindergarten and things like that, which is going to make life a little tougher than it was.
A little bit of a juggle.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's got to live a pretty cool life. And then, my wife and I, Zoe, we've been able to watch him grow the whole time, and not many parents get to say you're with your child 24/7.
Yeah, you said the journey. You got a young family. It's tough to go up and down the road. World of Outlaws, I know that was such a dream of yours to be successful and and you accomplished that. This high limit deal, though, schedule-wise, is a little bit more forgiving, I would assume, to families. How is that playing out for you with your family?
Yeah, for me, especially being able to fly home, spend a couple more months. There was a point there that I'd only spend 2 months in Australia. And I'd do 10 races there, so you're really not at home. So having this high limit schedules allowed me to buy a house, and it'd be worth, having a house at home, because we're going to be home for 4 or 5 months now, not 2. So,
is there one thing with Mav that you want to see have him experience with you as a racer before you go do something maybe more local while you're on this national kind of tour?
I want to win a race at Eldora. That's like my number one. I want to race at Williams Grove, Knoxville, and and Eldora. I want to tick off, to me, the big 3.
Yeah.
But no, I'm content. I'm happy with, as long as when Mav looks back, he's proud of what I did or whatever. I'm pretty happy with that.
Scelzi was telling me you're a food guy.
Yeah, love it.
So you're traveling around the States now, experiencing different food places with your, is it true you're keeping a notepad or something?
Yeah, we have most of the places that we go to. So I don't have a t-shirt trailer purely for the fact that we tow a car.
Okay.
So it kind of gives us a out and away from the racetrack, away from the races.
Away from the camper too.
Yeah. So sometimes we just go like, this town looks good or this city looks good, and we'll get a hotel for the night and go try their cuisine in downtown. And
What's been your favorite thing? You know,
food-wise?
Yeah. You know.
Oh man, I'm a big Italian, like authentic, legit Italian. There's a really, names is gonna struggle with, but it's a really good one in Sioux Falls.
Okay.
It's like a
Really?
wine bar, little, yeah. I really like Greek food too. Like, it's hard to find over here a little bit. I like lamb.
You go to like New York or Chicago, places, big cities.
Man, you guys do good burgers. Like, let's be honest, your burgers are pretty badass over here.
We do something right.
Yeah. Good nuts.
Good nuts. I mean,
I've never had nuts in Australia, so
they're missing out, dude.
yeah, I think that would be a cuisine that they would eat. Yeah, I don't know what. I just really enjoy food, like sushi.
Well, if you're going to travel too, like why not enjoy the cultures that?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the big thing that we've tried to do. You know, having a motorhome on the road's probably, you're not going to make as much money as you should. But for us, we're kind of getting paid to have a holiday. Yeah. Like, we're getting paid to travel America, a foreign country for us. Yeah. Get to like do cool shit, see cool things. Like, Maverick went on the boat on Niagara Falls, and like we stopped at a random little river going across Montana at the Yellowstone or whatever, and go for a little swim in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Like, that's cool. Shit like that has been.
You take pictures, cool. You'll have those memories forever.
Yeah, exactly. And for us, it's not a forever job for me. It's not I'm not a lifer. I'm not going to be doing it, a whole lot longer. So for us, we get to live a dream, and also travel with my family and get paid to do it. So
you don't see yourself being a lifer like you lived your whole life in racing. How is that? Because I know, like, for me it's hard because I don't know if I could ever turn it off, even though I'm not driving. Yeah. So you see yourself having a straight up family life at some point and not traveling the circus.
Yeah, not on a full-time scale.
But you still would.
Yeah, I would still come over and do a race or two here and there.
Heck yeah.
And, at home's good. I can still go race 30 races in Australia and race, but I'm an engine builder by trade, engine reconditioner, so I'm always going to be around it. Like, I'm going to build an engine or help someone do something or drive a car here and there. So when I say a lifer, I mean, like, probably not a stay on the World of Outlaws or high limit schedules and do that. My boy's going to be old enough to go to school soon, and my wife's a physical therapist and she had her own job, her own business, so at some stage she's probably going to want to do that again. And it's just something that we got to tick off the list, and it's been pretty badass doing it.
These balls right here,
they're good.
They are damn good.
Yeah.
What takes more balls, driving a sprint car or eating balls? Now that you've done it, I think I know the answer.
Well, yeah, I think once you get over the fact that you've got a set of nuts in your mouth, it's pretty easy, really. They're delicious.
Driving a sprint car ain't.
Nah. So I was really expecting a different taste, like an aftertaste or
like
some
a
sort of
kinda...
or like when you eat an actual oyster and and it pops in your mouth. I'm thinking, when I eat a nut, it's gonna pop in my mouth.
Oh God, no.
It's just like a nice chicken tender with a bit more flavour.
Chicken fried steak is the best way I'd put it.
But I think it's got more taste than a chicken fried steak.
Look at the size of this sucker. I mean, I'd like to see the cow that this damn came from.
Yeah.
He's a
Look like old mate's car out there with the big old set hanging over the back.
Oh man. Well, hey, I appreciate you.
No worries.
Eating balls with us.
No, I appreciate it.
Wait,
I just
are you
want to
looking
look
at the inside?
Yeah, I want to look at the balls.
I didn't even look in the inside. Is there like veins in there?
It almost looks like a veal.
Okay.
Like a piece of veal?
Yeah.
Are you busy?
It's actually like a veal steak.
Three-car battle for the lead into number one. Brad Sweet to the bottom. The lap car of Sheffer's there. Looks underneath him. Cannot make the pass. pass. This time by white flag. McFadden through the middle. Sweet to the bottom. They nearly get together off of turn number 4. White flag for James McFadden. McFadden goes to the bottom. Sweet gonna try and diamond it off the corner. Down the back straightaway. One last ditch effort for Brad Sweet. McFadden goes to the bottom. Off of turn number 4. Who's it gonna be at the line? James. No. McFadden. He got him. James McFadden wins it by 6/100ths of a second at the Base Thomas Classic.
All right. What tastes better? Beer out of a shoe? The shoey? Or a nice, good old
Golden nut.
testicle?
Well, there's two ways to look at this. When I drink a beer out of my shoe, I'm getting paid a lot. So that tastes really good. Because I only do it when I win a race.
Dude, but it's got to be awful.
It's actually not that bad.
Really?
There's
Okay.
a trick. You got to quickly empty the rocks out.
Uh-huh.
Because they get stuck like the breading just did in my throat.
Come on, wash it.
Yeah, and then you just don't let it soak.
Okay. So you're not marinating in the
So you
the
just
foot
drop it in and
odor.
foam it and then send it.
Okay.
And I don't really drink a lot.
Don't think of it either.
And I'm not really drinking a lot because it's all foamed up and it runs down my beard and it looks cool. Like,
Okay.
But I'm not really getting much.
Okay.
And then
Because
there's,
I was kind of wondering when I saw your shoey,
yeah.
at Butler, I was like, man, that's so cool. Like epic celebrations, because some people are just boring. They get out and they're just like, woo,
Yeah.
like this. But that is freaking epic.
So there's a funny story about it. It's obviously something that Australians have done for a while now. I don't
Oh,
think
so that's
anyone.
a big Australian thing.
Yeah, like Daniel Ricciardo does it.
Okay.
You've got UFC fighters do it. There's been a few guys that have done it over the years, and so I had a couple mates at the track at Lakeside, and our mate goes to me, "Oh, if you win, we're doing a shoey," and I'm like, I haven't won a race that whole year. It was to the end of the season. I'm like 65 races into the season or something, and hadn't won a race. I'm like, we ain't gonna win a race. Whatever.
So you're
Yeah,
like,
we'll
sure.
do it. So we win. And he comes running over with 2 beers and he's like, we're doing a shoey. And I'm like, well, I have to at this point, and smash
Wait,
it
did he
down.
come with his own shoe or your shoe? You got to do it in your shoe.
I did it
right?
in my shoe.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I would never do it
Oh
out
my
of someone
gosh.
else's shoe. But yeah, so that kind of started it, and then people loved it.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's just a deal.
Got to be known for
I think
something,
we
man.
need
That's a pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we need a solid beer sponsor
I think you need a beer
that comes
beard
around.
sponsor,
A
or
beer and a beard. That'd be nice.
a beer and a beard sponsor.
Yeah, like a shoey sponsor.
So like a shoe sponsor, a beard sponsor, like beard product,
Yeah.
and a beer sponsor to wash
Yeah.
down in the shoe.
shoe, yeah.
We got this. I think we got this taken care of.
No, I think people have lost emotion, man. Winning a race is something that you should be pumped and proud
Oh, yeah.
about. So to have a signature deal is,
Plus, you never know when your last win's going to be. Like, so it's
Absolutely.
like, especially, I don't know, how old are you?
35.
35? You're still young.
I'm up
But
there,
like,
man.
you never know. Like, as we get a little longer in the tooth, we got more rear view mirror
Yeah.
than windshield.
And a little more brain than nuts.